Here you go, right here, ready? And Peter Schaefer will expound on it. You ready? Is it large enough? Can you see the screen? Okay, let's read. The Gemara relates, or Gemara, Ankelos bar Kalonikos, the son of Titus' sister. Now, who's Titus? He's the general who burned Jerusalem and the temple and then became, I believe, the emperor after his father's passing. So Ankelos is the nephew of Titus, wanted to convert to Judaism. So he raised Titus from the dead. Necromancy. He contacted a spirit. He died. He went and raised Titus from the grave through necromancy and said to him, who is most important in the world, in that world where you are now? In the underworld, who's the most important? Titus said to him, the Jewish people. Ankelos asked him, should I then attach myself to them here in this world? Titus said to him, their commandments are numerous. You will not be able to fulfill them. It is best that you do as follows. Go out and battle against them in that world, and you'll become the chief, as it is written. Her adversaries have become the chief. Lamentations 1:5. Which means anyone who distresses Israel will become the chief. Ankelos said to him, what is the punishment of that man? Meaning, if you attack Israel, like you did Titus, what's your punishment? Euphemism for Titus himself in the next world. Titus said to him, now watch, the Talmud's talking about the kind of punishments God will inflict depending on the sin. And it uses 3 examples of people being punished for their sin against Israel. Titus, Balaam, Balaam, and Jesus. So he raises Jesus' spirit. Watch the blasphemy. So Titus, what happens to those people who did what you did? That which he decreed against himself, as he undergoes the following. Every day his ashes are gathered, and they judge him, and they burn him, and they scatter him over the 7 seas. So what is the punishment? Like Titus burned Jerusalem, he's being burned over and over again. Burn, ashes spread, restored, burn, ashes spread, and this is going to happen to him forever. His punishment is he'll be eternally being burnt to ashes, have his ashes spread, restored, burned over and over again. In other words, he will not be let out of hell, because I guess you may not know this. In the rabbinic tradition, evildoers who haven't committed these heinous crimes will burn in hell for 12 months, but then they'll come out and be wiped out of existence. Are you listening? The punishment of evildoers is that they go to hell for 12 months, then they're taken out and wiped out of existence. They will not be allowed a share in the life to come. Not with Titus and Jesus. According to the Talmud, Titus and Jesus will be punished forever. They will not be taken out of hell a year later and wiped out of existence. They will continue to suffer, which means the Talmud teaches Jesus will continue to burn and shit forever. That's the Talmud. Jesus will burn and shit forever and ever, according to the rabbis. You guys hear what I just said? And so Peter Schaefer explains, why is Jesus being punished with burning shit? Let's see. Okay. Ankelos then went and raised Balaam from the grave through necromancy. He said to him, who is most important in that world? Where are you now? Balaam said to him, the Jewish people. See, again, all 3 of them saying that the Jews are the most important people in the world to come. Ankelos asked him, should I then attach myself to them here in this world? Balaam said to him, you shall not seek their peace or their welfare all the days. Ya Allah. Strengthen my throat, Lord. Rebuke Satan. Ankelos said to him, what is the punishment of that man? A euphemism for Balaam himself in the next world. Now, this is why, guys, in previous sessions, I had confused, and thank the Lord you were there to correct me. I thought it said Jesus was burning and boiling semen. No, it's Balaam who was. The reason why I got confused, because according to certain authorities, in certain copies of the Talmud, where the name Jesus appeared, they changed it to Balaam. Now, I'll explain why in a minute. There was an edict sent out to the Jews to expunge, remove all references to Jesus, because the Catholic Church found out about these nasty blasphemous statements to Jesus, and they were being called forth to give an answer. Why are you blaspheming Jesus in your books? So an edict was made. Get all the copies you can, remove his name. So in some copies, the name Jesus was changed to Balaam. Now, how do we know that? Because there are manuscripts that survive with the name Jesus in those places. That's how we know. You got it. That's in the book. Just be patient, brother. That's in the book. No, it's actually syncing with the book. You with me there? Now watch here. Onkelos said to him, what is the punishment of that man? You from Balaam himself. In the next word, Balaam said to him, he is cooking and boiling semen. What a disgusting book, dude. As he caused Israel to engage in licentious behavior with the daughters of Moab. Now, Peter Schaefer is going to explain why each one of them were punished the way they did. Now, why was Titus punished with burning? Because he burned Jerusalem. Why is Balaam being punished with boiling semen? Because what did he do? He enticed Israel to commit sexual orgies. And what's the result of a sexual orgy? Semen. So now he's going to burn in that semen that he enticed Israel to emit by committing sexual orgies in their worship of Baal. You understand? The punishment meets the crime they committed. Now, let's go to Jesus. You ready? Here it is. This is Safaria.com. They don't pull any punches. They say Jesus the Nazarene. Safaria.com. Onkelos then went and raised Jesus the Nazarene from the grave through necromancy. Onkelos said to him, who is most important in that world where you are now? Jesus said to him, the Jewish people. Ain't it ironic? That's what the Christian Zionists say. The Christian Zionists say what the Jesus of the Talmud says. Is that ironic? Right? So then why is he suffering? Onkelos asked him, should I then attach myself to them in this world? Jesus said to him, their welfare you shall seek. Their misfortune you shall not seek. For anyone who touches them is regarded as if he were touching the apple of his eye. Man, that sounds like what Christian Zionists say. So the Jesus of the Talmud is in hell, burning and boiling shit. And he's warning then people, hey, cling to Israel, follow Israel because they're God's people. And don't seek their harm. That's exactly the script of Christian Zionism. Right? Tell that to Lloyd Dion, who tries to defend the Talmud. Now watch. Onkelos said to him, what is the punishment of that man? A euphemism for Jesus himself. And next verse. So now watch it. Watch Jesus' punishment. Jesus said to him, he is punished with boiling excrement. Jesus is being burned, boiling, and shit. And shit. And this was his sin. Why is Jesus boiling in shit? Because he mocked the words of the sages, because he went against the Pharisees. Come and see the difference between the sinners of Israel and the prophets of the nations of the world. So notice, Jesus is a sinner of Israel. And yet, as a sinner of Israel, he still has to be honest enough saying, be good to the Jews. As Balaam, who was a prophet, wished Israel harm, whereas Jesus Nazarene, who was a Jewish sinner, sought their well-being. So Jesus is the sinner of Israel. Jesus is the sinner of Israel. Now, where did I get this from? Sapphire.org. org. Are they lying too, that they're inserting the word Jesus? No, because that's what they did. They said about Jesus. Now watch here. Why did I? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That was it, because I'm on the page. Here it is. And it's in my article. There you go. So now Peter Schaeffer is explaining, why is it Jesus is being punished and shit? He explains. He comes up with a theory, because notice the punishment of Balaam matched his sin. Why is he boiling in semen? Because what did he do? He enticed Israel to commit sexual orgies and a blatant act of idolatry. See the semen? The sin of sexual immorality. Titus is being burned over and over again. Why is he being burned over and over again? Yeah, I'm going to do a session on the Holy Mother. That's going to be part 2. Wait till I show you what they say about the Holy Mother. Ay, so you're anti-Semitic, fam. You're going to be targeted now. We're going to shut you down. You ain't going to get 7 Gs? Yeah, stick it where the sun don't shine. Pray I can be a man of holiness and boldness and face death for Jesus and not back down. Because without Christ, I'm a coward. He's my strength. So now, guys, you understand, right? Titus is being burned because he burned Jerusalem. Balaam is boiling in semen because he enticed Israel's sexual morality. That means Christ must have done something to merit him burning in shit. Well, guess what? Peter Schaeffer thinks it's because of 2 sayings of Jesus. That means the rabbis were aware of the teachings of Jesus. So he thinks the reason why the rabbis say Jesus is burning in shit, because of his saying in Mark 7:18-23, it's not what you put inside of you that defiles you. It's what comes out of your mouth, your heart. Because what goes inside you comes out. Oh, so you think food doesn't defile you? Because it goes in and comes out of shit? So then you're going to burn in that very shit that comes out of you. See the blasphemy?